Ooh, grayish moms, grayish moms, grayish moms. Let's talk about getting that life you've always wanted. That's today's topic, because Karrueche and Deion and David Banner have got the streets to fly, and even Umar. What in the world? What in the world? What in the world? What in the world? Let's talk about it. We had girls' night, and my girlfriend told us we're all over 50, and she was sharing with us her. They said, let's do a challenge. Let's do date on Facebook. I said, no, and no. That's number one mistake. Everything they chatted with, looked at, or said no to, or not interested in, or then they did a deep dive. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Welcome. Are you aware of who Karrueche is? Okay. Are you aware of who Deion is and his age? And I'm a Deion fan. I think my son needs to read his book. He's an excellent coach. He's got some circulation issues going on that took away some of the toes. And we understand through the photos that have come out that Karrueche, Chris Brown's ex, a beautiful woman, 37, was the escort or caregiver, if you would, helping him out of the hospital. They may be great friends. They are great friends. We're all assuming. We know nothing. We're not behind the scenes, right? But the aunties are going, what's happening here? Who's going after the life they've always wanted? Stay focused, y'all. Stay focused. So grayish moms or ladies that want children, because I'm going to make this real quick. I'm not going to stay long. The statistics are saying that a lot of women are having children later in life. That's the bottom line. I was fortunate and I used Match to have my kids later in life. We've got some praise testimonies where girls have had their kids later in life with husbands. I have a couple of guests coming. I'm sorry. We've got some single moms that are coming to share their story about how they had their kids later in life. We've got some moms that have adopted their kids because they wanted kids. So you have options, right? And I want to make sure my mic is on. Listen. But what the streets are on fire about is, I was thinking, naive me. Oh, Karrueche's going to finally get her man. You know, she deserves love. This is going to be great. She's going to marry a wonderful guy who's awesome, who's a motivational speaker, and they're going to live happily ever after. My husband was like, what? No, John, that ain't how you thinking. That ain't how you think. I said, well, he's thinking arm candy, right? You know, that's everybody's stat. Get a little bit of money. I want something cute on my arm. Okay, we got that. Arthur's like, no, he need to get his thinking cap on. Because he about to get got. She about to get what she need. I was like, no. He was like, yes. He said, we got to tell these boys now that these girls are out here to get their child and get their alimony and their monthly. I was like, oh, no. No. But that scale, that wicked law of the universe, I got to put more, let that marinate for a minute. So as a grayish mom, I'm thinking, great. It could really be a great love affair. Author's like, no. Older man is beginning to think, you know, his needs. Yes, it's going to look good on his arm. Yes, he wants a young lady. He's thinking with his eyes. He's not thinking with his brain, because if he was thinking with his brain, he would immediately know that she's probably going to get in his pocket. I'm like, oh my God, no. What if she really loves him? He's like, no. And so that's what we need to, we can't remind the men of that. We see that. It's like, Arthur, you need to be on the podcast with me, because that is not the way I was thinking about this. I was like, oh, this is a young lady who sees her clock running out. Absolutely, right? Great. I'll have a provider. I'll get married into a stable relationship. We'll just be a 20-year separate age difference. Okay, now that I hear myself, no. And what Deion should have married somebody his age. I believe he was with. I can't remember her name from back in the day. And she waited forever. She waited forever. As all of us have been in those situations where we've waited forever. I had a guy tell me specifically, I'm not getting married. And he said that at 40. He was 40 and I was 32. He said, I'm never going to get married. I was like, no, come on, I can convince you. No, we can change somebody's mind, right? So I was like, I know I'm going to change his mind. No, he is now, I'm 54 and he's 62. He's still not married. And if he does get married, he probably going to have to marry somebody that he has a child. Anyway. In the mindset, I was thinking Deion's about to be a grayish dad all over again. Are you really going to have a second family at 57? My husband said, Karrueche's going to stay 2-3 years, dip. We're all assuming. We're just social media. We're just conversationalists. We're just people that see the picture and say, somebody beware, right? Deion, you don't want to lose what you've built. Now, who just settled? Who just settled a whole lawsuit? Who just settled? Shannon Sharp. And he got immediately fired. That means he admitted to it. Young girl was trying to get the sperm. I was like, are you telling me that these... So what we know is that women do want kids. I hope... See, I'm very old school, and old school's over. I know. New way of thinking is completely different. That's what the aunties need to understand. But if that begins to be our new relationship with relationships, then we're going to eliminate the need for a man, specifically a black man. You're going to lose this generation's color and you're going to lose man, because if women are dating and they have a baby, you don't need a man. If two men are procreating, they need a woman to carry the baby. They won't need a man. So we don't know who's petri. We got to be very careful. So women, younger girls, sisters, I guess you've had bad examples of the institution of marriage. And I think that's what it all stems down to. Because we say, well, what makes anybody say they want to be, and that's what we talked about last week. There are people that are starting second families, second lives. That's how you become a grayish parent. You have them late in life, after 35. Congrats to Karrueche if that's her game plan. I hope she's not the type of woman that's going to just leave after she gets what she wants. Janet was in an abusive relationship. Did Eve? She married to a billionaire. But Eve didn't have the kids. And she's a stepmom. But I hope that's not what women are shooting. I hope that is not our mindset, what we can get from the man. And that's when we say, oh, there may be a lack of faith, truth, and belief in love and marriage. So there's another channel. You can go over there and talk about what marriage looks like. This is about being a grayish parent. So, but you do have to respect the institution of marriage. And ladies, aunties that considering getting into a marriage or wanting children late in life, your mindset has to completely shift in order to get the life you've wanted. If that's what you want, if that's the life that you've desired, your mindset has got to completely change from your old ways of independent woman thinking. Point blank and period. So that's if you find a good man who wants a family. Amen. So worldly stuff is what we're observing with the Shannon and the Umar. I mean, Umar is out here. I don't want to talk about it, but doesn't he have 2 wives? So we're getting a lot of mixed messages, and I believe that the young girls are not taking the institution of marriage seriously. But then there's another segment of our culture they're good couples, they're strong foundation, they're off grid, marriage is real. what we're seeing in the media is a celebration of the exploitation, right? So don't stay focused on bashing them too quickly. My hope was that Karrueche, I never want to say it. I really always try to play the devil's advocate. But then when they look at it, you go, I mean, yeah, some girls like to date older men because they're treated well, treated real well, treated like royalty. The men enjoy having the younger woman, and the woman enjoys being treated the way she always thought or wanted her father to treat her. Not saying everything has father issues, but some women, the older men treat you real good, real good. Now the question becomes, does he want to have children later in life and be a geriatric dad, a mature dad, a grayish dad, right? For men, it's not the same issue as a woman. A woman will have to give up a lot of herself in order to be the primary caretaker, because he'll financially hopefully be able to be that person, but she's going to be the one that has to still do part nutrition, wellness, and spiritual balance and emotional support for the child. The husband will be getting older and he's going to have needs as well. So before we decide to get into grayish mom, geriatric, mature parenting with a mature person, understand what a grayish parent looks like. Everything changes after 35. We want to be able to pour into our children. So I knew it was a hot topic. My position was, oh, they're going to be great. It's going, they might fall in love. I hope she stay with them. It doesn't even work. Does it even work? And then I was like, Deion didn't get married before. Well, he did get married, but he made a lot of kids. He's a good dude. And my husband was completely devil's advocate and said, listen, women have agendas too. And I was like, damn. So ladies, as a grayish mom, my name is Lisa. I had my kids at 40 and 44. Dreams do come true. Your dream can come true. But if you are if your intentions are not pure, this isn't for you. This channel is not for you. I'm talking about people that are wholeheartedly vested in becoming a grayish mom. And I can't help you land the plane of a marriage. That's other channels. I mean, I could, that's another day. But what we're here to talk about is what that looks like. And I was thinking that she would be a geriatric mom, Karrueche. And many women do start after 37. But I want to also bring awareness and say, when we choose to procreate after 35, that picture is going to be very vast. It could be through in vitro. It could be through adoption. It could be a couple that chooses to have someone carry for them, a surrogate. It could be through marrying an older man to get what it is you want. It could be through traditional marriage. The two of you fell in love and said, let's make a baby. And that's the 75% of people who I deal with. There is the 2% that had a oops. Okay, damn, wait, okay, I'm gonna be a single mom because that dude ain't around. But the topic about, dating in our 40s, what that looks like, it's not kind, it's not friendly. I found my most success on paying apps. If you pay and people out there paying, they ain't playing. That means they vested in this. They've asked a serious dollar up front. You're meeting a woman or a man that can afford that dollar up front. So you've kind of done a little bit of vetting then. But that Facebook marketplace is just that, a marketplace. You're getting catfished. Because if you scroll further down, not saying there's anything wrong with a paraplegic, but everything she's met, this person's been, there was an ailment. And my girlfriends who are over 40 and over 50 said, we're not signing up to be your caretaker, your nurse, to carry your oxygen. And then these men that are just now, David Banner, deciding, oh, I'm ready to settle down and have kids now. But you clearly didn't want to date a 40 or 50-year-old. So now you're going to try to reach further back for the $30 bag, 30-year-old bag? Because we don't want you. And let me tell you, the aunties that I know, honey, we are thriving and flourishing. We are not done living. And maybe that's what men hate, is that we are still exuberant, youthful, healthy, playful, and they forgot about wellness and nutrition and working out. So that's maybe why they're always coming for us, like trying to knock us down, or you ain't all that, or you out of town again, or why y'all always having girls' night? Why are you traveling? Not mine. But I'm saying, what I'm hearing, the guys be hating that the women is still so sexy and fine over 40. Okay? So that means we are capable of what? Carrying a child and being a grayish mom. But I do want to encourage us not to lose sight of our men. They are the back that we need them. It keeps the bloodline, color line. You can always date other ethnicities as well. But if a pocket of black men keep holding out, we're missing out on procreation. We're missing out on a plethora of women procreating. And that's designed by social media and big business, just kind of redirecting our thoughts as to what matters. So we need to be mindful of what we're doing, whether we're doing it serious or whether we're doing it in the flesh. Okay. This is Grayish Moms Week. I promise we're going to have a guest, but I had to come in and say, I love Karrueche. I always thought he did her wrong. You know what I'm talking about, but I'm a Chris Brown fan. I'm a Karrueche fan. Karrueche. Pray for the best for these individuals, but when their limelight is different than our limelight, their focus may be different, but I'm faithful that they're doing this because they have a great friendship and it's going to be beneficial for them both. My husband was like, this ain't going to be no long. I said, it might be. And let me tell you something about that, that thing I'm watching on Netflix. Hunting Wives. The thing on Netflix everybody's talking about. It resembles way too much Puffy situation. I was like, do you know that we just finished a whole trial about this? And everybody's, it's the #2 episode on Netflix. It is everything we just exploited in the courtroom with Puffy. And it's now being celebrated as the #2 series on Netflix. Because both the couple loves women. It's careful what your brain watches to normalize. What we are normalizing is going to be the problem. And if you want the life you've always wanted, you can have it. But he may not look like the life that the man that your girlfriends said you should be with. You have to decide what internally you need to be your mate. That's the bottom line, and how you become the grayish mom and have the life you've always desired. I'll see y'all next week.